What are you talking?
Said you're more important.
I'm not more important than her. Maybe Brian should do it. Brian's good at it. He's a preacher. I know.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's on the schedule, but if he doesn't show up.
he's always here. He's always.
I was gonna work my way back to the back chairs to see who would volunteer to do it.
Hot seat. She's just gonna go pick him up.
Pastor, is your daughter gonna do it tonight?
She probably could, but no, I'll do it.
Okay. Okay, you guys ready? Call this meeting of January 27th, 2020, Atwater City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Ambrose,
Here.
Kale,
Here.
Raymond,
Here.
Vieira,
Here.
Creighton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Pledge of Allegiance led by the Johnsons like to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. And then the invocation by Pastor Rich Miller. Please remain standing.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, everything in Jesus' name we ask it. Amen.
Amen. City manager, report out of closed session, or city attorney, sorry.
We consider 2 items of anticipated litigation, and there's no reportable action.
We'll re-adjourn conferences A after the regular session to continue closed session. Subsequent need items,
Mayor, there are no subsequent need items.
approval of agenda as posted or amended.
I'll make a motion to,
Give you a couple of quick updates on some of the activities at MCAG, TJPA, Yards, and Regional Waste. I wanted to start out with a few things on Measure V. The long story short on Measure V is that we continue to generate revenue at a rate higher than what we estimated. We have generated over almost $23 million for our local jurisdictions, and over $12 million for our east side jurisdictions for regional projects. So those are well above what our annual estimates were. And what that means for the city of Atwater is that there's been over $2 million that has come to this council for your discretion on use on local transportation projects. And then for the east side account, which is the regional projects funding that's shared by all the jurisdictions here on the east side of the county, Atwater has been the champion for the Winton Way reconstruction project. And through that committee and board process of allocating those funds, the city has been successful in programming the funding needed for both phases of that project. And I think it's important to note with this particular project that you know that our region has a lot of need, and when we, as the east side of the county, our jurisdictions came together to talk about how to spend that money, there was great collaboration between the cities and the county, recognizing that Atwater was shovel ready for this project, and there was successful discussion that resulted in Atwater getting this project at the top of the list so that there could be groundbreaking this year and get moving and be done with it. So I think it's important to note that East Side collaboration was really successful, and just a quick thanks to the cities of Livingston, Merced, and the county of Merced, who were critical partners in making sure that that happened. And congratulations to the city. One bad thing I didn't do is I know my team was telling me about when you were planning to do a groundbreaking, and as I said that, I thought, was it today? No. Okay, good. All right. Well, congratulations on your upcoming success for that project. So we're excited to be part of that. I also wanted to mention quickly on the bus, MCAG administers the bus, that we have just recently kicked off a campaign with Merced College called Bus for Us. And what that means for your students here, your Merced College students, is for a $9.95 fee at registration, they can ride unlimited fixed route service anywhere in the county, not just to school and back, but to work, shopping, entertainment, wherever they go. for just $9.95, and that was regularly $180 a semester. So through that partnership, students are having more options on how to get to class and how to get to around town, and hopefully can help them be more mobile without vehicles, or even choose to be more mobile without a vehicle. I also want to mention, in terms of ridership on the bus, is that also with Measure V, there's the free fare program. So any Atwater resident, or any county resident at all for that matter, that is a senior, ADA eligible, or a veteran, rides our fixed route transit system throughout the county for free, thanks to Measure V. So if you know any folks that could be taking advantage of that, please have them give us a call and we'll get them all squared away. It's really an easy process. And then 2 quick updates, one for YARTS. If you haven't taken YARTS to Yosemite, now's the time. We have a limited time program through a grant that will offer a round trip ticket to Yosemite Valley from Merced at $7.50 per person. That's $7.50 per person, 2 per household limitation while supplies last. But that's regularly a $38 round trip. So also, if that's not enough of a bargain, we have free service days, and those are coming up on April 18th and April 20th, which means that you can ride YARTS for free. It's also a free gate day, so it's essentially a free trip to Yosemite. And then I'll mention lastly a new development for our regional waste management. We do administer the Regional Waste Authority, so our 59 landfill and our Billy Wright landfill is, Mayor Creighton was one of the champions of this effort, but the board just recently took action to open the landfill on full days on Saturday. So we have been operating on partial, either half day or not open at all on some days, and it was a little bit of a messy situation, and so that was something that was championed by the mayor that the board just put in place. So as of now, our regular operating hours till 3:30.
Yes.
3:30, thank you. There's so many numbers in here. 3:30 in the afternoon every Saturday, our waste management facilities are open. So I know that was a bit of a whirlwind, but there's a lot we do. I'm happy to answer any questions or revisit anything I said, or answer any questions about any topics I didn't.
Okay, let me open it up to the public first, and we'll bring it to the dais. Any members of the public like to come forward on this item? It's a presentation, but if you have any questions, I wanted you guys to be able to ask the director of MCAG directly of anything she just spoke about.
Jean, is there gonna be any rate increase at the landfill?
So the question was, will there be any rate increases at the
It's usually
landfill?
in June or something, July.
I think you can answer that. There's some recycling issues that are going on, so we probably can't get into detail on that. That's kind of a yes or no question, but she can talk to you more after this.
She's leaving.
I'll get you her information.
Okay.
But I think to answer that question, is that the only question you had?
Yes.
I think you can answer it really quick.
Yep. I'll just specify that your hauling contract is something that is an agreement between the city and your hauler. So if there's an increase to that, that's not something, that would be something that this council would address. The short answer is, it won't, yes, but we don't know what it's gonna be. And I'm just being as direct as I can because of a new state regulation that is requiring us to separate your food waste from the rest of the waste. So there's going to be additional processing and services on our end to comply with state law that will affect how your city is processing your garbage. But when that will be, probably, the law requires that new service by January of 2022.
So
there's time.
So the one sentence answer on that is, a new unfunded mandate by your state of California will raise your rates potentially.
What he said. Yeah.
Or guaranteed.
What he said, yeah.
Okay. That, we'll get into that. You can go online and look that up too. Any other members of the public? Chris? Yep, okay. We'll
Chris
close
can answer
the,
all of our bus questions. Chris is a
Chris
faithful-
is,
Yeah.
he's your YouTuber also.
Yeah.
We're gonna close the public comment. Anybody have anything? We'll bring it back to the dais.
I just want to say, great work on working with Merced College and that 995 program.
Thank you.
That's awesome for our residents.
Thank you. Well, I have to give credit to Mary Michael, who's in the back. She did most of the legwork, but thank you. That's a perk of my job. You're welcome.
But okay, never mind. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other members of the council? Just want to tell you guys thank you, and I went out to the landfill, and being open on Saturday is a big deal. not only does it allow the residents, because we pay our rates, so we generate the revenue during the week, and on the weekend, it's available for us, but it also gives staff time to catch up on stuff at the landfill. So Monday morning, when the haulers are getting there, things are going a lot better. So, great job on that. Consent calendar.
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Motion to approve the consent calendar is posted.
I'll second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Viera.
Raymond,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Viera,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Item 6, reports and presentations from staff, approving investment management agreement with Chandler Assets Management pertaining to TCP Settlement Fund. Director Kelly Jacobs Hunter.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you probably recall, at the last meeting, the council took action and adopted Resolution 3130-20, which council committed the TCP settlement funds to be used solely for the remediation of TCP from the City of Atwater's municipal drinking water system, and requires a supermajority vote to prevent any future repeal or modification to this resolution. To further council's effort of the resolution the last meeting, this evening we have Chandler Asset Management Group here, Mr. Don Penner, to give a presentation to council. To introduce him and
Come on up, thank you. Welcome.
Hi, well, thank you for having some time for me here. I will be brief. Please stop me at any time if you have any questions, but what I wanted to really do is just introduce you to our firm and kind of tell you some of the things that we have already done and some of the things that we would plan to do for that TPC fund. So at a very high level, we're Chandler Asset Management. We've been working with public agencies in the state of California since 1988, helping them invest their funds from operating budgets to special projects similar to this, to bond proceeds, to construction funds, you kind of name it, and we've worked with them. We worked with about 135 public agencies in California, cities, counties, transportation authorities, water authorities, and that type of thing. As you see on the donut chart there, 80% of what we do is with public agencies. So we were founded by Kay Chandler, who actually had Kelly's job for the city and county of San Diego, and saw an opportunity to bring professional asset management to these public agencies. What we've talked about with Kelly and staff is putting an investment portfolio together that is very specific to the needs of the city with regards to these funds. We've got this is one of my favorite parts, is the stable team of investment professionals. Some are more stable than others, but they're all have been doing this for a very long time, and many of them have been with us for decades. Just a list of some of the clients in Northern California, some of the cities you will probably recognize. Merced being kind of the closest neighbor to you here in Atwater. If you look at what Kelly had mentioned, that we've been managing the Central San Joaquin Valley Risk Management Authority assets for a number of years. It's actually just over 20 years. And you all have been part of that since 2001, so our relationship goes back almost 20 years, 19 years. The biggest difference between what we do for the pool and what we would do for you is really kind of encapsulated here in this slide. And it goes to kind of that customization of what we can do for you. The pool, you invest alongside of your friends and neighbors in the Central San Joaquin Valley. The portfolio that we would build for you is going to be highly customized around cash flow needs, around the amount of risk that you're willing to take or not willing to take to maximize returns in that portfolio. We will provide access through our online portal. We will provide monthly and quarterly reports. We will come here and speak to you folks whenever you want us to, but generally kind of on a quarterly basis to review that portfolio. And specific to kind of project funds or the funds that you've got, you're gonna need cash at certain times along the process. And we've actually already begun talking with Kelly and staff about what that looks like. And we'll build a portfolio that makes sure that that cash is available when you need it. The investments are all highly liquid anyway. This is a bond portfolio. Very, you know, we concentrate on the safety of the principal kind of first and foremost. We look at those cash flow needs and the liquidity needs of those funds. And then within that framework, we then look to maximize the returns to be able to kind of continue that fund on in the future. Any questions? We're coming back on the 12th. Is that the
That is correct, yes.
That's the meeting, perfect. Actually, a couple of my colleagues will be coming back to sit down with staff to put that plan in place pending your approval here. And this is kind of the steps that we go through to make sure that everything is kind of set up exactly to your needs and customized to what you want to achieve. And a lot of this we've already started. In your consent calendar, you approved the investment policy review. That's work that Kelly and we put together to make sure that it was up to date and taking full advantage of California State Code that governs the investment of public funds. I believe Mr. Sanchez worked with our compliance and legal to formulate the contract.
Yeah.
And that's gone back and forth a couple times, and I believe everybody's kind of happy with how that looks.
Yeah, our offices looked at it.
Yep, perfect. And then we would come back and really begin to kind of check the rest of those boxes to make sure that we are up and ready as soon as possible and as soon as you folks are ready to start investing those funds. I'm going to go real quick on this. The investments themselves, as I said, are very safe. This is kind of what guarantees that safety. This is our process that we have in place to again maximize safety first, liquidity second, and then the returns on that portfolio third. We do this. It is a repeatable process. It's a very disciplined process, and we don't vary from this. This is our guiding principle of how we invest the portfolio. Here's a couple of the strategies that we would consider after talking with staff to put into place. The short-term bond strategy, which buys bonds that mature out to 5 years. And then the intermediate strategy, which has bonds that mature out all the way out to 10 years. There's advantages to both, but I believe at the end we'll probably have some hybrid of these two portfolios that would invest your funds here. And this is kind of returns of those two strategies over a 1, 3, 5, 10 since inception period. As you can see, the last 10 years have been tough on bond strategies, but the last 12 months or so, we've had a little tailwind and have been able to produce a little bit better returns. A word on reporting. You have 24/7 access to all of the portfolio information online that we will talk with staff about and get them trained so they know how to do that. This is a pullout of our monthly report, but we also have quarterly reports that will go into depth so you can have a full accounting of everything we do. Very importantly, at Chandler, we have a culture of compliance. It's very important to us, and our reputation is one mistake away. And we monitor this. This is actually a page out of that out of a monthly statement and a quarterly report that checks all the boxes to ensure that that portfolio is always in compliance with the investment policy as well as California State Code. The rest is disclosure.
Okay.
Can't sleep at night.
I'll open it up to public comment at this time. Any members of the public like to come forward and speak on this item? Please come up to the podium.
Hi there.
Marianne Amaranth. Okay, my concern is a couple of things. First of all, financial, how much you're going to cost us. My second concern is my understanding we have to be compliant by the April of 2021. My other concern is we have a lovely gal who's our financial director here that certainly she would be more than qualified to take care of these assets for us. I was under the impression once this came into fruition that we wouldn't have a longevity. All this dictates to me is we're going to put off getting our water taken care of. You're shaking your head, but I'm just saying I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated it's not even funny. Like the fact that you would orchestrate all of this and be worried about how we're going to invest our money instead of it being like getting our engineers in place to take care of this water issue. I feel like it's been going on for a long, long time. I feel like I'm really being like, I'm trying to be patient, but obviously that's not one of my fortes. Our rates are all going up. I'm still paying for water that I'm not drinking, bathing in, cooking in, or washing my clothes. So I guess I want some of those questions answered. For us to spend more money, and obviously managing funds is not free, so that's going to take some more funds out of what we have to spend on cleaning up our water, and I think we deserve to have clean water. Thank you.
Okay. Any other members of the public that come forward? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the dais. Kelly, you guys can go back up to the podium. So to answer some questions you just raised, yes, so the day that we won in the courthouse, the litigation, the city manager hired a firm to help out. We've already implemented things to begin the construction part and dictate where we're going to start building and what we're going to build and how we're going to optimize the construction so the best process is in place the fastest, not to drag this out like you were concerned of. The other thing is that you can't take the full amount of the $43 million to mark the stuff. Physically impossible. So you're going to have about $0 to $12 million worth of infrastructure right away we're going to be getting into. So that leaves about $30 million that we could go put in a quiet savings account somewhere, which you'd be super pissed at us if we did, get no return. But we hire these guys and they come in and they get us 1, 2, 3% return on $30 million. Now we're going to take that lawsuit money. This council's trying to push it out that we have enough money to continue projects in the water for the treatment beyond 50 years. So we're trying to not only say build what we have to build to get the treatment in place, but also have the money to sustain it over 50 years, which we can't do with no interest. We just draw down that money till it's gone. So we're trying to maintain that money also. No. You can elaborate more on the questions that she asked to kind of shed light on it, because we're not trying to hide anything. And if you have more questions later, afterwards, I'll get with you. And we're being 100% transparent. So whatever concerns you have, Kelly, Lori, the engineering team, you have full access to. Everybody has full access to. So, you guys heard that? Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Can you go into what she was asking questions on, why we're hiring you to do these type of things?
Well, I was going to say, I think I can help. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Their investment management fee is laid out in their contract that they provided to us. If we invest all $43 million with them, we would anticipate somewhere in the high $30,000 annual management fee. But our returns will be, their returns are higher than like the local agency investment fund, which is a very secure, the state run. And plus we already have the maximum in there, so we can't put any more in there and you can't get another account. I invest, I can buy his bonds and things, but these guys really, truly have a talent for getting the city the best return on investment while following the government code, and what the government code is very strict on what public agencies can invest public funds in, which they should be, because we're not here to gamble with your money. But we are here to get you the maximum return on investment. And I think that, personally, I think that's a great plan. And I know that, just like Mr. Penner said, it's all based on cash flow. So whatever the city tells them we need to get our project moving and done, it will be available. And that's something we'll have to sit down, we'll have to ladder out these investments. So, so does that help explain a little bit?
I'm all about us making money. That's great. And I'm all about investments. I just was telling my mom today I'm gonna have to pay major taxes this year because I made a
Okay.
lot of money on my investments.
We don't want to go back and forth because people at home can't hear. so-
Sorry.
That's okay. We're going to get with you.
One more question. This is
Come back up real quick. We're going to reopen it back up to the public.
I appreciate everything that was just said, and I appreciate you guys going forward, and I appreciate you respecting our money and looking for the future. All I want to know, guys, is when can I drink my water? That's all I want to know. I want to have an idea. Give me a ballpark figure. I don't want to wait until 2021. I don't.
So you can drink your water now. It meets the federal levels, but to remove it all out, it's going to take a couple of years to build all this stuff. It's not going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to lie to you and
I
say
appreciate you not
tomorrow
lying
to
to
be
me,
done. We're moving as fast as we can to get construction going, and it doesn't go like lightning speed. But you're welcome to always be part of the process and know what's going on.
That's all I
Anybody
wanted.
is.
Yeah, because I just want to ask one more question. I'm not understanding, if we have multiple wells to pull from, and we could pull from 2 wells at a time, why aren't we pulling for the 2 that aren't, like, we have 15 is being treated for TCP, I'm under the impression, and then 21, I guess, is okay. So why aren't we just pulling, I understand that our resources, but why aren't we trying to pull from the wells that don't have any TCP?
They
Why-
are, under my understanding, the operator's already doing that. We've been doing that for quite a while already.
Okay.
So the goal is always to have the least amount of anything bad in the water
Right,
all the time.
okay, but
So
that's
other
not
than
where
doing
we're
it-
at. That's not where we're at right now. We're
Okay.
not there. And my concern is we're not getting reports. I think because we have such a high level that we should be, I'm upset because at a population of 28,000, nobody cares about our water. I do. It's a big deal to me, obviously.
Well, the council does, and we're spending gross amounts of time on this to make sure that we get this done quickly. You're welcome to come in and we'll show you everything we've been doing. We've been doing mountains of work to get this done. So to say that we're not doing anything is not correct, because we are. And we are working
I'm
to
making
make sure we do
assumptions,
the.
Paul, because I'm making assumptions based on what I see in the newsletter, because I'm one of those idiots that actually reads it. I do read what you guys have to say. I actually care about my city. I would love to live in my house because I spent a lot of money remodeling it, and I don't feel comfortable, and I am getting frustrated. So I call the Water Quality Board. They give me the circle. I tell you one thing that keeps in place, the loop. Everyone talks about a loop, and they say the same repetitive information. I'm just concerned. The levels are high, and it's not safe to drink. You guys can say that, but it's not comfortable to drink it. I don't want to drink something when the state standard, and I get California, believe me, we're in the propane industry. We get nailed by
Okay, we have to
everybody.
Wrap it up,
I
but we want to give you whatever information you're looking for to make you feel safer. I don't know what you expect from the council or the operators to physically do stuff that we can't do faster. So we're going to get with you after this meeting.
Okay.
And figure out, because last meeting I told you the same thing too, that get with us.
It's because when I reach out and I'm trying to, and I'm looking at this newsletter because I was told that we were going to get a quarterly report, and I appreciate our public works, and I appreciate the other people, and they do call me, and I respect that, but at the end of the day, I want to give an idea of when at least the levels are down. I can live with them going down. What I can't live is them being stagnant and them
Okay.
not changing.
We'll get with you then.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward on this item? Okay, seeing none, we're going to reclose the public comment again. Bring it back to the dais. Council, do you have any questions? Oh, Vieira.
No, Kelly answered my question. I think one thing that Marianne was concerned with is if we have the money tied up in investments and to move forward and start or continue the construction of these little machines that are going to clean our wells, but our money is tied up in construction. But I think Kelly answered it. Even though it's tied up in investments, we still have access to it, so that we can continue the project moving forward. And I think that's somewhere I pushed my button. Did that answer your question, Marianne, about that? Was that kind of the question?
Cindy, we can't go back and forth.
That's what I understood the question to be, and I had the same question as well, but my understanding is that even though they're being invested, we can still access them to continue moving forward.
Yeah, the liquidity is at the city's discretion, not Chandler.
Gotcha.
Any other members of the dais? Raymond?
Yeah, Mayor, and, you know, I'm always questioning government and how they use money, and I, you know, having worked with you on this in the council for a while now, the understanding is put the money in the investments, basically live on the interest to kind of continue maintenance. Is there a guarantee in this that the interest money doesn't go to the general fund for other random things? Is there a protection in
Yes.
place?
There is,
Yeah.
because we just passed an ordinance on that,
Or a resolution.
That also that encompasses the
I'll let
interest.
Kelly answer that.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
I was just making
correct.
sure.
Yeah.
It's government. You can never,
No, when
can
it,
never be too careful.
when we talk about the TCP funds, that means the use of those
restate
funds
the
too.
question? Restate the question you had.
Yeah.
You were worried
Question.
about the money.
No, I just, you know, with government, you don't know how they're going to spend the money, if they're going to do it appropriately or not. So I wanted to make sure that there was no loophole in there to where the interest that's accrued can be, you know, used for other things.
Kelly?
The resolution that council adopted at the last meeting that talks of the TCP settlement funds and the use of all those funds, including all the earnings, will remain in the TCP fund. So it won't be possible unless the I believe it said a supermajority could overturn. Yeah. So does that help?
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other members of the dais? None? Okay. Kale, go ahead.
I just want to make a statement. In reviewing this this afternoon and going through all this, I really enjoy your compliance with your investment policy. I looked at that and I'm like, wow, this is really neat that you are requiring certain percentages in every field. I think that is remarkable. I've never seen that before.
Thank you. We worked very hard to actually identify those ranges and that in the investment policy, and that's really kind of that governing document that feeds into that statement that you're looking at there. So thank you very
Viera?
much.
Yeah, question was mentioned earlier, and I was not aware of this. We can only keep a certain amount of money in a bank and earn interest off of it?
In LAIF, the local agency investment fund, which is run by the state of California, it's a huge investment pool. You can have one account with LAIF, and the current maximum is 75 million, and we have hit our max. LAIF is a very secure, very solid, short-term. I mean, I could call you. We could call in the morning and have funds by 2, but the earnings that firms like Chandler is seeing are 1.5% higher than LAIF.
Yeah, that varies, you know.
I know, but if you look over there,
guarantees
there are a
investing,
lot.
but
I know.
Yeah, it will vary, but
Yeah.
we
Just to
absolutely-
touch base on this, so we invest this money, and we have this one pot of money to do this right one time. So say that we have some type of crash like we saw in 2008. What happens to our money? What if we lose it?
We can't lose our principal because there's nothing that we invest in that is at risk like that.
Okay.
So the only thing that you would see is when I come quarterly or monthly with the interest earnings off this fund, they're not going to be as great as they were.
So our original amount that we have, our one little gold nugget, we cannot lose that piece. We can only lose something that we risked to invest and the interest on that, but that initial 45 million or whatever that we are setting out to clean our water with, that is not at risk.
Can I step in?
Yeah.
It is, there is no guarantee. You to invest that you are putting assets at risk. You are investing, we will invest with staff at the most, the lowest risk type of investments that that are available to you. It's bonds that mature within 5 years. I can tell you in that short-term strategy, one of those strategies we showed you, we have never had a negative returning calendar year. So every calendar year through 2008 and 2009, that crash affected stocks. You're not investing in stocks, you're investing in bonds. Bond portfolios actually did fairly well in 2008 and 2009. So while there is always risk, you are investing in instruments that the state of California have kind of deemed are kind of the least risky. I mean, if in the spectrum, it is, you know, the high dive versus the kiddie pool. It really is a huge difference between kind of stocks and short-term bonds.
Anybody else on the dais? Seeing none? Looking for direction?
I'll make a motion to approve an investment management agreement in the form approved by the interim city attorney with Chandler Assessment Management of San Diego, California.
Second.
Motion by Kale, second by Ambrose.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Viera,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Item 7, adopting a resolution approving water discontinuation policy to comply with the Water Shutoff Protection Act, Senate Bill 998. Finance Director Hunter.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The item up for consideration is exactly as the mayor just stated. Back in 2018, the Water Shutoff Protection Act was established by Senate Bill 998. And as of February 1st, 2020, we as a water agency, as a domestic water system, we are required to have certain discontinuation policy in place to comply with Senate Bill 998. So staff has worked to put together the Exhibit A, which is the water discontinuation policy. Always been willing to work with its customers to make payment arrangements, to assist them in any way we can. But the only thing is, we had a 45-day period to which, once you were delinquent 45 days, then you could be subject to shut off. This extends that to 60 days. So the minimum amount of time now that an agency could discontinue water service for non-payment is 60 days. Other than that, our fees are well below the maximums that were set in 998, and we didn't bring any changes to those at this time. We were bringing before council a policy that meets the requirements of 998, and probably during budget time, we might look at some of those fees and ask council to consider them. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, we'll do the council first. VR?
I noticed in reading through this, there's also speculations.
It's will come down to the city manager looking at it, but as far as we've accepted notes from doctors, things like that.
Okay.
We're willing, anybody that wants to set up the payment plan is willing to keep to that. We're all for, as far as having to demonstrate the hardship, we're all for working with the customers to make an arrangement that works.
Okay, thank you.
And if I may add, I think the legislation, and I think this is reflected in the policy, defines what the hardship is under federal poverty laws. So all of those things, objective fixed standards.
Correct. And we were taking the approach that instead of coming up with this, treating one customer different than another, we'll just look at all of our customer base as being able to, if they need these provisions, that it's open to them.
Any other members of the council? Seeing none, I'll open up to the public. Public's comment on this item, come forward and,
Rich Miller from 334 Silva Drive here in Atwater, also pastor Victory Baptist, 1280 Sierra Vista Street. We actually had a water leak at our church last fall, and Public Works had to come out and shut it off and help us find all of our shut-offs on the old property. And one of the things that came up when I was talking to the gentleman that came out was he said that we have more shut-offs, or the shut-offs we have monthly in the city of Atwater are equal to what they have in Merced. Do we have that? My question is, do we have that many people not paying their bill, number one? And number two, the way that I understand that this is in compliance with a Senate bill, so we have to comply, so that we don't really have a whole lot of choice in that matter. Is there anything that is in this resolution that doesn't need to be in it to comply, I guess, would be my second question. And then my third question would be, is there anything about repeat offenders? Time to go shut off people's water, to turn it back on. I mean, it's a lot of time that they could be spending doing other city projects. So those were the three questions I had.
Thank you. As far as our percentage of delinquencies or shut-offs as compared to another agency, all I can speak to is my previous employers, which were cities, and I would say for our population, no, it's about the same, the amount per percentage.
we can get that.
We can get
off
that.
the cuff. We don't have that. But
Yeah.
what Kelly's saying is that population size, her experience, and my experience, it's about the same ratio per capita.
Right.
So that's probably misinformation that staff's giving you in the field. They may feel, that employee may feel like it's a lot, but it's, for our size of community, the percentages are the same for about every other jurisdiction.
Right.
And it's a 60 or a 45 to a 60-day, 15-day addition.
Correct.
The bad thing is that people that are in that spot, they're in a bad spot already. An extra 15 days just puts them that much further behind. So the goal is not to help people fall into a bad spot, but to help them while they're in a bad spot to scramble to get out of that and not continue in that. So, and like Kelly said about the medical stuff, some people have medical issues, new medical issues that, created situations, and there's arrangements that can be made with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Any other?
Oh, I'm sorry. To my knowledge, there's nothing in our policy that it doesn't have to be there, meaning it meets the minimum requirements. We did not increase anything, or that our goal was to try to keep this as consistent as with the current policies, to not make it on the customers to have a huge impact. So
Any other members of the public like to come forward on this item?
Yeah, I just got a question about
Can you put your name for the record, please?
Richard Johnson, 1675 Drakely Avenue. Okay, when the city cut our water off illegally, it wasn't never for a bill that we owed. It was because the city wanted to take our property. We've proven that. Everybody knows that. And matter of fact, it's getting out there. I just wanted to know, is the city of Atwater, just because they own their own water utilities, are they allowed to keep your water cut off for 4 years? Even though when they cut our water off, we didn't have no filter anymore, because we always had a brand new refrigerator. We always did pretty good, healthy, up until they cut our water off illegally. Right then, we didn't have a filter anymore, even if it was just a regular refrigerator filter. Are they allowed to cut your water off for 4 years, even though she's seeing a doctor for a bacteria that she received from standing water from a water hose next door that she was forced to drink out of? I mean, is that?
yeah, Mr. Johnson, I'm not. I'm sorry, I don't know the circumstance, so I can't.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm new.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time on this item? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council. What's your pleasure?
A motion to adopt resolution number 3132-20, approving water discontinuation policy to comply with the Water Shutoff Protection Act, SB 998.
A second.
Motion by Ambrose, second by Raymond.
Viera,
Yes.
Kale,
Definitely yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Comments from the public, speaker cards. Do we have any speaker cards?
Yes.
Speaker cards are located at the back of the council chambers, so if anybody wants to speak, please fill out a card and let us know. Who do we have first? Place them in the basket in the back. Go ahead and read the notice, public.
At this time, any person may comment on any item which is not on the agenda. You may state your name and address for the record, however, it is not required. Action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and or placed on a future agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. First, we have Lori Johnson.
Thank you. Lori Johnson, 1675 Drakeley Avenue. Today, as I wrote my speech, I prayed that God would give me the words, take me by the hand, give me the confidence and clarity so everyone could understand. The words that came to me, God has guided us this far, helped us take out many corrupt city officials. He has used us as his strongest soldiers to fight his toughest battles here in Atwater. He has been here with us the entire time. We still stand because he still holds us up. I believe with all of my heart, God is here with us, keeping us safe, giving us strength, energy, and the intelligence we need to fight the city. He pushes us because it's an important fight. He gives us the words because he wants you to see the impact of what you have done to us. Today, I stand here at this podium strong, and to say to you, God is leading us, keeping us safe. He is showing the residents we are fighting for all of us. He will keep us safe. We will continue this fight until we see that all is good on our city council, and Atwater will be a great city. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public or comment cards?
Chris Geesey.
Good evening, Chris Ginsey from Atwater. Here tonight for like the last couple of meetings that was like extra long. Why we cannot speak like at the beginning of the meeting, and why we have to stay the whole entire meeting. So like sometimes we might get sleepy at the end of the meeting, and after the meeting's like almost 4+ hours long. Going on 4+ hours long, and sometimes, feel like staying until then to just to speak. I'd like to see if you're going to have it on meeting, how can you go make like 2 sections of the meeting? You can speak at the beginning of the meeting, and then the ones that don't come in at the beginning if they're late, especially on the longer meeting nights, they can speak at that time too. That's my suggestion. And 2, I got some little bit of issues about jobs in Atwater. It's not just me, like maybe other people like my age try to get a job and stuff too. They like to kick us up to the curb and want to hire the younger people and the bilingual race and stuff too. You see a lot of that at a lot of fast food and grocery stores and 99-cent stuff. Why we cannot get jobs like that? I'd like to see that change too. And I think on the employment issue, I think it's not corporate idea. I think it's like, the way I see it, it's management problem. They like to pick and choose. And I'm just wondering to see if they want to give priority to everybody and stuff too, not just the kids out there too, because everybody does the survey have a job, not just kids, like people like me, retired age, whatever. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And by the way, Winterway is going to, this gateway started work on Winterway last week, so they're going to do.
Welcome.
I feel like the Cowardly Lion and the Wizard of Oz with 10 wizards. I almost went back. I'm Ralph
Take a
Benavides.
minute, just catch your breath, relax.
Pardon me? Yes.
Relax, we're here to,
I come from Stockton. I cannot tell you what I saw, and I'm never going back. I love it here. I'm formerly from Atwater.
you.
I was packaging control foreman for Dole for 13 years, and I'm never going back to Stockton. One thing I saw is homeless people, feces on the sidewalk. My brother bought 4 houses. I went to help rebuild them. I was staying in one by myself, and people, it was in the back. My brother lives in a nice neighborhood, but when I finished it, I was by myself. And what I saw, people knocking on my door, winos all over, falling. You close your door, you hit a wino. Anyways, what I came here to do Atwater good. I don't ever to be like Stockton. Nothing, not even one street. What I propose, I've talked to people, and I put petitions, and they wrote this. They signed it, but it's not official. This is how many I got, the dates, and I tell you when it stopped, then I start another one. I was told I have a secretary that to put their phone number and address, which I'm going to do. I've been working with Fred here, and we've become really good friends. We're like this. Very good. I like him very much. 91, and I was no good. I sold a 4-cylinder car to somebody in the hills, which they're probably still there, you know what I mean? But now I know about cars since I'm a little bit older, well, a lot older. And so I'm pretty good. I know what cars are and the cylinder and how strong they are and what they're capable of. So I'm a better salesman, I would say. And I also proposed roads for the city of Atwater, which was proven. Well, I'm proud of you. I saw that. We started cheering that what you did. Fred and I were on our way. We were trying to get roads here because I ride the bus to college. I just finished piano, which I wanted to take since I was divorced. I worked 2 jobs for my wife who didn't work. Now she's not with me, so I want to do what I want to do, and I graduate. Well, I got an A+. And I've got an electric, beautiful piano with earphones. I practice, and I love it. I'm so happy. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about our city. Oh, I proposed that I saw somebody in a wheelchair in Merced, and I offered him water, and he said, I don't want to drink it. And I said, why? He goes, there's no place to go to the bathroom. What I propose is porta potties for Atwater. It's good for the public, good for the homeless.
can you hold on a second? It doesn't seem like you're very familiar with our process. You have a certain amount of time to speak, and then when you're done.
Am I taking too long?
You passed your time. Can you wrap it up in like 20 seconds?
Okay, porta potties for Atwater.
And you're always welcome to come back every council meeting.
Okay, I will. I'll be, this is my, I went a long time ago.
That's okay.
Right out of college. I
Go
was
ahead, we're
only
gonna give
19.
you 20 seconds.
Okay, that's it. I'll propose, make it more official, and I'll have a secretary draw this out, but this is the signatures that I got on the bus, and that's a lot.
Thank you for the good compliments on Atwater.
All right, thank you. Now I'm going to run through the curtain. That's my favorite movie.
Do you know we have anybody else?
Yes, we have Kaylee.
Oh, who was this?
You can just set it back up there.
Oh, what was it?
Oh, yes, please don't walk off.
Yes.
Oh, what is it?
That's very important.
Sorry, I'm still doing that.
I think we need to put a stress ball up there.
Okay. What was that anyway?
As a remote for the PowerPoint. Our
Kaylee.
next speaker is?
Kaylee.
Wow.
Hello and good evening, City Council. My name is Kaylee. I live on Dolores Street, and I would like to talk to you about pollution, specifically about municipal solid waste, aka trash. I have seen trash on the sides of streets and canals throughout my community. I am doing a project in class, and the topic I pick is pollution and trash. In reports from 2017, there has been 139.6 million tons of trash found in landfills throughout the U.S. A person can make an average amount of 4.40 pounds of trash each day. There are animals out there with trash all over their habitat, and they have to live with that. It affects the way animals have to live their lives, and people should not be the reason why these animals get sick or injured. Animals that live on land might eat trash, and they can't digest it, so it would be stuck in their stomachs. Just doing it for a good grade, but I'm doing it for the future of our city. And just throwing trash wherever we want isn't going to help out. So making little changes like taking out plastic straws out of our daily lives and using reusable straws instead, these small changes can make a big difference. I don't want other living things to suffer for our choices. That's not something I would like to be remembered for. With the recycling program, less trash would go to landfills and be recycled. The recycling plan would be a great way to minimize recyclable trash being left in landfills. Trash is a big problem in the world, and it will become an even bigger problem if we don't start doing something about it. So let's do our part and reduce population. Thank you.
Wow. That was a wonderful presentation, and you inspire us all to do greater things. And we're probably going to enlist you, because I know your dad is on the city council. So,
Hey, Mr. Mayor, I
yes.
just want to say she did a hell of a lot better than I did my first time up there.
She did, and I'm really proud of you, because public speaking is very difficult. But not only did you do public speaking, but your speech was perfect. You're on the road to success. You're going to probably be a higher politician than your father. So thank you very much, and I'm going to reach out to you, though.
I'm going to be quiet except for Kaylee. Awesome. Love delivered. Love the facts. And you can come up here and sit next to me anytime you want.
Ambries.
First off, I want to thank the rep from MCAG for coming out and giving us all that information. The gentleman just left. I was going to say, I hope he's really putting that the bus pass to use there. Congratulations on him passing his piano class.
With an A+.
With an A+, yeah. Yeah. I sure in the heck couldn't do it.
I got a C when I did mine.
Couple quick things, not really city related. I just want to again tell my wife happy birthday. I know it was yesterday, but you're here, so might as well put you on the spot. One of my younger sisters in Fresno, tonight's her birthday as well, so happy birthday, Christina. And congratulations, Kaylee, for coming up here. You were practicing hard, and it looks like it paid off. And the last thing, in case for those at home who were keeping track, as most of you guys know, my wife and I are expecting, and we had our gender reveal, and we're having a boy.
So, on the gender reveal, I
Brian's
watched
a
the
great
video.
name, Danny. Brian's a great name.
So, did our baseball player hit it, or did it drop and turn blue? That's what I thought. But that means she's still the alpha in the family. So, one real thing, but you mind coming up here, because you're going to close the meeting with your dad. I'm going to pass the gavel over to him, and you're going to close the meeting. So if you mind coming up. Can you pass that over to Ambries? I have just one thing. We had a tragedy over the weekend. We lost a young resident, Wyatt Pimentel. He was close with my daughter and my son and some other kids. He was a great baseball player, water polo player. His family's, I'm sure it's a terrible time for them, but I want to close today's meeting out in honor and memory of Wyatt Pimentel. And you can adjourn the meeting in his honor. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.